Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. Today, we are continuing our ongoing coverage of the war between the Russian Federation, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and its Ukrainian proxy forces. Now, today I want to start with the strange case of the disappearing 155th Mechanized Brigade of the Ukrainian proxy army. Now look, this is an incredibly interesting story, especially in terms of propaganda. How suddenly an elite brigade can go from elite to AWOL in a blink of an eye. Now look, a year ago, this brigade started training. Over 5,000 Ukrainian military personnel were formed into this quote-unquote elite brigade. Much of its training was conducted in France. At the time of its deployment, as it was being outfitted and equipped, it was being alleged that the 155th, the Scorpion Brigade, would be arguably the most elite and best equipped unit in the Ukrainian military. The 155th Mechanized Brigade of the NATO equipped Ukrainian military was going to single-handedly change the military equation in and around Pokrovsk. It was equipped with Leopard 2 main battle tanks, a full battalion set. It was fully equipped with a battalion of Caesar 155mm self-propelled artillery guns. And well over 100 VAB armored personnel carriers. It was completely equipped, completely outfitted to be fully compatible with NATO forces. That included training, equipping, leadership training, everything. Again, the absolute, in all probability, best equipped and best trained, according to NATO standards, for the Ukrainian military. What happened? Well, let's go over to the deep state map. The unit was sent to the Pokrovsk area of operations. Again, it was going to be the lead unit in engaging and quote-unquote destroying elements of the Guards 90th Tank Division of the Russian military. Well, what happened? What happened? Why is not the 155th Mechanized Brigade pushing Russian forces out of the area near Pokrovsk? Well, the Ukrainians will allege that it had poor leadership, that many of the soldiers, for whatever reason, decided to go AWOL. And that has occurred. Many hundreds, if not thousands, of Ukrainian troops belonging to that unit have deserted. But the reality on the ground is as follows. The 155th Mechanized Brigade, the Scorpions, was deployed against Russian troops. The reality of what happened was not completely desertion, but the simple fact it was engaged and destroyed by the Russian military. Western media will not say that. They will not come forward and say that a military unit designed and equipped to NATO standards was defeated by the Russian military. But that is what happened. Now, to a large degree, this unit was forward deployed without air support. The Russians were watching this military unit very closely. And when it appeared on the battlefield, the Russians engaged it with long-range weapon systems, drones, multiple launch rockets, and air power, long-range guided glide bombs. The unit, having never really been tested in combat, except in training operations in highly regulated, military regulated fronts, again, had never experienced the level of tenacity and destruction that rained down on that unit. Hence, it was destroyed. Its military personnel vanquished and scattered. And then finally, the remaining elements of the 155th were incorporated by force into other units. And that is the story of the 155th Scorpion Brigade. Now, let's continue to look at what has happened over the course of the last few days around Pokrovsk. This breakthrough in the South by Southwest will probably be the undoing of Pokrovsk. This is the start of the envelopment operation, and as we speak right now, the Russians are targeting Ukrainian forces in and around Pokrovsk. They've made it very difficult for any Ukrainian forces to now enter Pokrovsk from the north or northwest. There are interlocking long-range fires now in position for any Ukrainian forces that attempt to enter the city and or that are in the city currently. So as always, thank you for joining us. More to come very, very soon. Have a good day.